Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another take of Zooming with Kaymitch. I'm excited to be back with more takes and episodes for you all. And without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and add my next guest on. Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for carving out some time to be a part of my podcast, Zooming with Kaymitch. I'm so excited to have you on today and be a special guest on today. And without further ado, why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm awesome to be here. Thank you for having me. I know you're trying to get this thing back up and running, so it's really nice to kind of be a part of that. So my name is PJ. I spent probably about 9 years in Division I women's basketball.
Mhm.
Started off at App State, where I was a video coordinator, and then after that, after COVID kind of hit, I was able to get a job at the University of Michigan.
Mhm.
Where I was the video coordinator there for 2 years. And then recently just spent this past year at James Madison. And now I am working on my own business with one of my partners from the NBA that I met when I was at App State. So yeah, it's just a little bit about me.
Absolutely. We're going to get into all the details and everything. So, starting off, first question, can you kind of share just some of your basketball experience and your journey into basketball?
Yeah, sure. So I started off at App State, kind of like I said. I
Mhm.
was a practice player, so I kind of took a little bit of a different route than some people do.
Uh-huh.
Started off as like a practice player and just kind of grew to know the staff and really loved the players and just kind of getting to help them just get better.
Mhm.
So I can try to make that into a career. Got on with the staff again, just kind of volunteered my first year there and kind of transformed that into being their full-time VC. And then after that, she saw an opportunity at the University of Michigan for me, and then kind of blossomed into a great opportunity for myself and career. Took it, and then just kind of shaped me into who I am as a basketball professional now. And then kind of a little bit more about that too. Um, After that, I was a speaker at the WBCA Final Four in Minneapolis. Uh,
Mhm.
I love that. That was really cool, and that's really one of those good things to kind of put on my resume. And people still reach out to me about that, and ask questions about it, and all that stuff. So it was really good experiences, and wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's so cool. And then especially like I don't think people realize how important a video coordinator, spot is. Like you're having
Yeah.
to do a lot of behind the scenes work of getting the scout and getting clips and film of other teams and stuff. And so that's an important role. And thank you for sharing, your journey into, basketball and then Division I and stuff, and then being a practice player, having to go up against those girls every day. You used to get
It's a lot.
buckets on them.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work, but I wouldn't again trade it for the world. I've made, so many connections.
Mhm.
Um, it blossomed into so many different opportunities. I mean, I even worked in the NBA some
Mhm.
for their youth camps. So that was really, I wouldn't have had that opportunity if it wasn't for, where I started. So again, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Absolutely. Like I said, thank you for sharing. Next question. Helping other assistant coaches, like what is an underrated skill that can separate upcoming coaches right now?
I would definitely say video. I'm not going to say that because I'm biased as a former video coordinator. Um, it's just one of those things that like everybody has a need for, right?
Mhm.
A lot of the assistants that I've worked with are always sometimes in a time crunch. And if they need
Right.
help, with their video scout, and it's 30 minutes before we got to present it to the team. It's one of those invaluable things that you can have as a support staff member to kind of be able to help facilitate the video side.
Mhm.
And it separates you from a lot of people that want to get into basketball. I was always told that growing up by one of my mentors, Coach Sam Pierce, who's at Delaware.
Mhm.
He was a very big stickler about video with me, so I kind of learned that from him and just grew to grow that craft as far as has how I grew up in the business.
Absolutely. I think it's ironic how you're talking about video as being so important because like that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to learn how to, better my experience on using Huddle Sports Code. So how can I be more efficient when I'm cutting and coding and different stuff? And like you said, it's so much to go into it. So that is a good skill to have, like you said, to separate yourself. So that's good. Next question. What important factor to you would you say separate good programs versus great programs?
I would definitely say the culture piece. I'm really big on that. I know every program that I've been on has always preached like culture this, culture everything. And I really do think that makes a difference. It's part of the, reason why I helped start this business that I am in today.
Mhm,
Um, but the culture piece again is like it separates the good and the bad, because if you have a team that has a really good culture, they just gel better. The team chemistry is better. It makes the practice is better, the game is better, everything just it moves as a unit. And it makes those tough film sessions a little bit easier, those tough practices a little bit easier. So just having a really good kind of culture and team piece is just, I think, from my time at all three schools, I think is the biggest piece that I would take away from that.
good, good. Absolutely. Culture is definitely important, as recruiting and getting to know like the recruits and your players now, like when you embody, a great culture, then it becomes more player led than a team led. And so I
Mhm.
think culture is definitely important. Um, Next question, how important to you is mental health in college basketball today?
I think mental health is, if not number one, it's top three.
Mhm,
Mental health plays a huge piece in everything. You can see, in all college athletes, mental health. I mean, it plays into, how well they're doing in the classroom,
mhm.
not just the basketball court or the football field, whatever it may be. A lot of that stuff weighs heavily on them. And just kind of seeing it from, from Power Five, mid major, low major, whatever it is, seeing how each athlete and the resources that are available to help them with mental health, I think is a huge thing. And again, it's one of those things too, um, that just kind of separates the, sorry,
Good.
um, just separates, the really good teams and, um, can just, like the athletes too, they have these outlets. Gigi, come here. Stop. I'm sorry.
You're
Come
fine.
here. Stop. Sorry. Um, so yeah, the separator between those, like the good mental health and some bad mental health, and the resources that are available to some teams can absolutely determine how well an athlete plays.
Mhm.
Um, and just even having like again, the resources is a huge thing. Maybe some schools don't have it, which is um, unfortunate, but I think that plays a huge role in how the athletes perform for sure.
And I think along with like you were saying, I think it's becoming a big advocate now for it. Maybe years before it wasn't a big thing as mental health or it wasn't as talked about. And so like you said, now having these resources and what we have now, we need to put a big, number one stamp on okay, mental health, making sure, my kids are know like, hey, y'all are more than just players because that's what's going to make them play harder for you, essentially knowing, that I got your back or I love you no matter what. Absolutely.
Yeah,
La
and that goes a part of like the culture piece too. It's just it
Yes,
plays into, people want to play for um a good person. They want to play for someone that knows that they care about them. So that's again huge for me and kind of my time in athletics for sure.
absolutely. That ties into everything. Last question. You talked a little bit about, self-owned business and everything like that. And so I just kind of want you to explain or kind of like what made you start, the Bold City Sports for Change.
Yeah, so that kind of it was in the works from my time when I was working in the NBA. I met my business partner. Her name is Allison, and then we kind of just have just been in communication throughout the past couple of years through COVID and all these crazy times. And she was really big on the culture piece, and I knew that that was kind of one thing that I was really passionate about as well too. And it just kind of blossomed into a business. And then she lives in the Jacksonville area as well, and um, just we got some really good feedback from some stuff that she did and programming that we had, and um, just kind of with our and like the NBA connections that she has and some of the connections that I have with college basketball, and just trying to build that up into a business to where we can show people that we can change the athletic background with the culture piece, whether it's team camps, and just the team consulting too was really big. So just trying to mesh kind of like a consulting business to better change not only youth sports but even like college and professional sports as well.
That's amazing. We definitely need more youth involved in basketball and sports, period. You know, the biggest distractor right now is our phone and social media being, you know, in these teenage age. So the more that we can have people like you that provide camps and different things for them to go and be involved in, to be that team oriented, that family oriented culture piece is really key, you know, to developing young women and men into great, you know, maybe one day not just athletes, but you know, human beings. And so I think that's so great that you know, you are doing these camps and having this big change. And so I commend you for that, you know, you having to do it, you know. And so that I mean, that takes a lot of effort and time, but that seemed like something that you're very passionate about. So I thank you for sharing, you know, that. And like I said, that concludes our interview. I really appreciate you taking some time out, you know, to be a part of this and
Thank you.
everything. And you know, I hope to stay in touch with you and learn more about, you know, everything that you have going on and camps, and just picking your brain maybe on some video things like, hey, you know, I'm involved a lot here in Murray State with our video processes and film and stuff. So, you know, I might ask you for a few pointers here and there and everything like that. So I definitely want to stay in touch with you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anytime you need some help with that, feel free. I'll be around and look forward to helping.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.